All right, welcome to week one of our Pilates practice, and we are just going to be reviewing some of the foundational exercises of the Pilates order. So grab your yoga mat and come on down to the floor. We're going to start lying down and just talk a little bit about the Pilates breath. So classically, your breath is going to be an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. You can kind of sigh it out. Inhaling through your nose, go ahead and join me here. And sigh that breath out. Keep going. I will be cueing some breath work today, but I don't want you to worry too much about it if you get it on the wrong part of the movement. If you're breathing, you're doing a great job. Focus on getting the movement and then pairing the movement when you have everything in the right order. So starting out nice and basic, go ahead and put your hands down on the floor, a little bit of press down with the back of your shoulders, and we're going to take one knee out to the side. And then you're going to draw it back in, and we're going to alternate. Opposite knee goes out to the side, and back to center. Now while you're here, you're really thinking about both back pockets are staying relatively flat on the back of the mat, and you're just allowing your inseam to kind of unvelcro from its partner over there. Now that you've got the choreography, if you'd like to add your breath work, you're going to inhale as the knee goes out to the side and exhale as you bring it back to center. Let's do one more on either side. Just kind of focusing on letting the movement be easeful. And then back to center. Now we're going to take this into a little march. Bring one knee in towards your chest. And then step that foot back on the floor. Alternating sides, opposite knee comes in. Again, everything's staying relatively heavy. You're finding your connection points to the mat. You're thinking about switching which foot is leaving your imprint of your footprint. Nice, easy march, just generating a nice deep hip crease here. Again, back pockets staying relatively flat. And again, if you would like to add in your breath work, you're going to inhale as you bring your knee in towards your chest. And exhale as you set it down. Last time. Good. Both feet are going to stay down on the mat now. And we're just going to take a little pelvic tilt. So I want you to imagine you're wearing a belt buckle here. And you're just going to gently tilt that belt buckle back towards your belly button. And then you're going to release it. Okay, really small movement. You're not really clenching anything yet. Again, finding that moment of easiness where you're only tapping into the tension that you really require. Little bit of press of your feet down into your mat. Again, leaving that little bit of the sole of your foot into the squishiness of your yoga mat. And you'll notice that probably your back flattens a little bit as you press your feet down and tilt that belt buckle back. And you get a little bit of space as you release. One more time. And then now we're going to take that up into a bridge. So continue with that belt buckle tilt and lifting your inseams up towards the ceiling, pressing your feet down into the mat and your shoulder blades, and finding that lift. And then rolling back through the back of your t-shirt to find your starting position. Belt buckle tilt. Inner thighs lift. It's like you're going to send your knees across the room a little bit so that you can stand down into your whole foot. And rolling back down. We're going to do two more, and let's take a little breath cue here. Inhale to tilt your belt buckle. Exhale to lift your hips and find that waistband up towards the ceiling. Inhale at the top. And then exhale, deflate. Finding that heaviness as you take yourself back down to the floor. Last time, inhaling to tilt your belt buckle, exhaling to lift your hips, inhaling at the top, inflate like your helium is filling your lungs, and then exhale, deflate, and roll yourself all the way back down. All right, hands are going to come behind your head, stack one on top of the other, finding that kind of flat spot on the back of your head. Elbows are lifting up to the ceiling, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. And then inhale as you come back. Keep going, exhaling, finding a little bit of that curl right underneath your underwire, and then opening that space back up. I'm kind of thinking as you lift, you're finding more of the space up towards the ceiling versus towards your knees. So it's like this angle in my armpit doesn't really change because I'm not pulling my elbow forward, but rather I'm getting that last little bit of up towards the ceiling to find that upper ab curl. Let's do 2 more. Lifting, gaze is kind of up towards where your ceiling and the wall meet. And then on this next one, we're gonna stay lifted. We're gonna go into an exercise called the 100. So arms are gonna reach long here. Still think about the tips of your shoulder blades pushing the mat down a little bit. And then you're gonna start to pump. And you're gonna inhale for 5 breaths, 5 pumps. And then exhale for 5. Keep going. If you'd like to add more challenge, you're gonna bring your knees into a tabletop position. And you can play with this. You can have 1 foot down, if that's your level of challenge that you'd like right now. You can kind of alternate which foot is tapping. You can take those legs stretched up towards the ceiling, or if you're really feeling it, you can start to reach your legs long on the diagonal. And this is where I start to lose count. So let's do 3 more breaths. Squeeze your inner thighs. Think about pumping from your armpit as much as your palm. And last breath in. Exhale. Bend your knees and rest for just a moment. All right. Here we go. We're going to take it into roll up. I'll show you the full variation first and then give you some modifications. Legs are long, arms are going to reach up and overhead. As you inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling to lift your upper ab curl. And then exhale, take that round shape up and over your thighs. And then you're going to return. Thinking about that belt buckle tilt. So you're sending your belt buckle into your belly button to reach your heels long on the mat as you return. Keep going with that variation of the felt good. If you need a little bit more ease, you're going to take your hands behind your thighs and just use your arms to gently pull you up into that round shape. And then you can use your arms to gently put you back down onto the mat. Still doing that nice reach up and overhead. You can always do 1 leg into your chest as well, and that will give you a little bit of that push forward to help you find your roll up. And then that leg will go back with you as you roll down. Last option is at the top. If you do not want to come all the way down, you can always do this as a half roll back, curling down towards the tag of your pants, and then lifting back up and over. Let's do 2 more with your variation of choice. Inhaling, curling that belt buckle, rolling all the way down. Arms lift. If you want more of a challenge, keep your biceps next to your ears and try to lift less with your hands and shoulders and more with your underwire. Last time going back down. Reach your heels, try to take up space towards the wall in front of you. And then we're gonna stay down on this one. Arms go long by your sides. 1 leg is gonna stretch up towards the ceiling. Toe can be pointed or flexed. And we're gonna start with a circle. We'll go across the body and down, and then lift up and come to center. Now for this one, your back pocket corresponding to the leg that's up in the air will move. Lift it up to spin your waistband to follow your leg. We'll do 3 more in this direction. Meanwhile, your leg that is on the floor, that is your anchor point. So you're really reaching it towards the wall and letting, I like to flex my foot, reach the heel. Let's reverse the circle. Out to the side. And again, take belly button leads to collect that leg back into the mat. Inhale for the first half. And exhale for the second half. Last 2. Shoulder blades are relatively still here. At the top, pause. And switch which leg is doing what. Opposite leg reaches up towards the ceiling. Across the body and down. Exhale as you lift and come to center. And every time your inhale makes you a little bit more expansive, you take up more space, and your exhale collects you back in. It's like you're one of those car wash guys, and you're getting more blown up as you have your wind. And then you can allow yourself to find creases and collection with your exhale. Reverse, out and down, exhaling as you lift. And if it doesn't feel good to rotate, you can always keep your back pockets on here and choose that option instead. Do you feel like you're having a hard time finding your shoulders? Try bending your elbows and push your elbows down to the mat. I think we have one more. Good. Keep your leg up, grab behind, push into your hands to lift into a seated position. All right, we're gonna go for rolling like a ball. So scoot your butt towards the end of your mat. You're gonna hold on to your shins if you have a little bit more flexibility, or the backs of your legs if you wanna make this just a little bit more approachable. I'm gonna hold on to my shins. Again, initiating with your belt buckle tilt. You're gonna rock yourself back to your shoulder blades, lifting your hips, and then lift back up, balance at the top. Inhaling as you rock back, and exhaling to lift. The balance is where you really get that abdominal connection to kick in. And you're imagining that if I put you in a little box, just the shape you are, that you wouldn't break out of it because you're keeping your heels towards your butt, elbows nice and wide, kneecaps towards your eyeballs. All right, let's try for one more. All right, and then go ahead and scoot yourself back just a little bit on your mat. Bring one knee in towards your chest. We're gonna take the outside hand to the ankle and the inside hand to the knee. Don't worry too much. Basically, grab your knee. This is the classical Pilates way to do it. Opposite leg is gonna stretch along on the diagonal. The higher it is in space, a little bit easier. The lower it is in space, it's gonna make it a little more challenging. So pick your angle, reach the opposite leg, and now switch. You bring it into your chest, and switch. Elbows are nice and wide. You're finding that curl around your underwire so that your shoulder blades stay the same distance off the mat, even as the legs switch. Let's go for one more on each side. And then both knees into your chest. Rest if you need to. And now we're going to take that into a double leg stretch. Both legs reach out towards the wall in front of you. Both arms reach back behind. Inhale. Exhale, sweep back around. It's like you're gonna cannonball into a pool. Inhale, reach out. Make that long position. Hands out to the sides to scoop your knees back into your chest. Remember, higher on the diagonal, it's gonna be a little bit more easy. Lower down towards the floor is gonna be a little bit more challenging. Last one, pick your diagonal, take it out. And all the way in. One leg up towards the ceiling, other leg down towards the floor. We're gonna do a scissor. Give your top leg a little pull, pull, and then switch. Again, because you pull from your armpits, almost like you're gonna climb up your leg. So it's less about just pulling with your elbows and more about pulling from the back of your shoulders. Legs are switching, again, you don't have to make it this big. It can be a little scissor. That's right. And then one more time on each side. And then you're gonna take both legs up to the ceiling. Hands are gonna go behind your head for double leg lower and lift. Inhale, reach your legs on the diagonal. Exhale, pull your legs up to the ceiling. Again, you pick how low you want your legs to go. You're in charge of this. This is too much. Lower down to a point you can maintain. And try just lowering and lifting one leg. And then do a couple, and then switch your sides. Totally an option to take this in a more single side option. Let's do two more. Picking the range that you want, keeping just a little bit of belt buckle tilt as you reach your legs away. And then last set here for our series of 5 is bicycle. Knees will come into your chest. Exhale to find your upper ab curl. Rotate, reach the opposite leg, and then switch. Again, could you bring your armpit across your body towards your hip crease versus your elbow towards your knee? Keeping your shoulder blades lifted the whole time. Last one, and rest. Whew. Okay, that was your ab series of 5. Hopefully you're feeling it there in your center just a little bit. When you're ready, rock yourself up to seated. We're gonna go into spine stretch. So legs are out about mat distance apart. Just kind of reach underneath you and shuffle those butt cheeks up and out of the way so you feel like you can sit up really tall on the bony parts of your butt. Now, if your hips are pretty tight, you can always stick a yoga block under your butt for this to give you just a little bit less of an angle at your hip. Reach your arms out in front of you, and as you exhale, you're gonna bend forward, making a little C shape with your spine. And then as you inhale, you lift back up. Exhale, start with your head, shoulder blades, low back, and then collect yourself from your belt buckle tilt to your shoulder blades to the back of your head. As you bend forward, it's like you're peeling yourself off of a wall. And then as you lift back up, you're taking the back of your shirt and aligning it on that same wall. Last one. Really thinking your fingertips move because your ribs move. And then you collect your fingertips back into you with that same lift. Stay in your seated position, take your arms out to a T. We're setting up for saw. You're gonna inhale as you twist in one direction. Exhale, take your hand towards the opposite pinky toe and do a little pulse, pulse, pulse. Lift back up, you're still in your rotation, and come to center. Opposite side. Twist first, and then reach. Here's the saw part, sawing off your pinky toe. 2 and 3. Lift up and center. Anchor your feet. Both heels are pushing the mat down underneath you so that you can rotate your ribs past your waistband. Twist and reach. Back palm lifts up towards the ceiling to tilt you forward into that bend. Last time on each side. Hopefully you can see my back palm is lifting up towards the ceiling. So there is just a little bit of rotation that happens around the shoulders right here. Back palm's gonna flip up. And that allows you to really think about lifting from the front of your shoulder to push you into your saw. And center. All right. We're gonna flip over onto our stomachs for swan. So go ahead, find yourself positioned on your stomach. Forehead is going to rest because your chin is slightly tucked under. Palms are down on the ground so that your elbows are bent and floating. As you inhale, you're going to start to push your palms down into the ground. Inhaling, continue to press down into the mat to start to straighten your elbows. You don't have to go as high as me. Again, you are in charge of your range. As you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows narrow. Think about pulling your chest forward through your hands to return. And we go again, feeding your elbows down into your palms. Following your gaze up and across towards the horizon, and then following your horizon line down to your mat. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling as you lift. You're thinking about opening your hips up off the mat as well here. Last time. Nice strong palms. Pressing down with all 5 fingers. And then all the way down. Go ahead and sit yourself back into a little child's pose for a moment. And just take a nice deep breath back there. Hopefully that felt pretty good to open up your chest. And then we're going to come back down onto your stomachs. This time, you're going to put your elbows down right underneath your shoulders. Maybe just slightly in front of your shoulders. You can do palms flat here. I kind of like to do a fist into my palm. And really think again, you're pulling your collarbones through. And now my ribs, front of my shirt, is going to stay the same distance off the mat the whole time. This is your anchor point. Your legs, we're going to bend one knee to bring your heel in towards your butt. And then you're going to do a second little pulse. Stretch that leg long and switch your sides. You go kick, kick, and stretch. Opposite leg. Pull, pull, and release. Again, could you keep your belt buckle tilted back slightly into your belly button? And can you keep that shirt off the mat so that you're really keeping that really strong upper body? Pull, pull, and switch. If you can keep your legs close together here, awesome. My knees are a little tight for that, so I'm about hip distance apart here. Pull, pull, and switch. One more time on each side. This one's called single leg kick. We're kicking with just one leg. All right, now we're gonna come down for a double leg kick. We're gonna kick with both legs. Here we go. You're gonna rest down on one side of your face. You're gonna take both hands behind your back, clasped. Now you can go as high up your back as feels comfortable in your shoulders here. Legs are gonna squeeze together as best you can. From here, you're gonna kick both heels up towards your butt 3 times. Ready? Pull 1, 2, 3. Now, stretch your arms and your legs back towards the back wall at the same time, lifting your collarbones up off the floor. You're gonna switch which cheek you're resting on as your hands come back up your back, and we kick again. Pull 1, 2, 3. Arms and legs reach towards the back wall. You can separate your hands if you need to. Gaze is still down at the mat. And then you switch which side you're resting on as everything releases. Pull 1, 2, 3. Make your banana shape. And then release as you come down and start to kick 1, 2, 3. Banana. And back down to that cheek. We've got 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Lifting from the back of your butt cheeks and the backs of your shoulder blades. Last one. Last lift. And then come all the way down. Again, we'll just take a nice little child's pose here for a moment. Nice big breath. Maybe take a little thread the needle. That feels pretty good. Over to the other side. And then you're going to come onto your mat in a quadruped position, so opposite arm, or sorry, all fours, knees and hands. And now we're going to do a bird dog. So you're going to reach opposite leg and opposite arm towards their respective walls. Here we go. Lifting and reaching, and then pulling back to your starting position. Opposite side, lift and reach, and then come back down. Now the length, right, is still coming to the horizon line right now. So you're really thinking underwire and waistband are looking at the floor relatively the whole time. And if you could pull the mat closer together with your hand and your knee that stay anchored, you're creating that diagonal of tension with your anchored knee and hand. Let's do one more on each side. Again, I really like a flexed foot here. It's like you're gonna kick someone back there. You're gonna give them a really strong push through the door behind you. Good. And then make sure you have enough space on your mat. And now we're stepping back into just a regular plank. You can always go from your forearms for this as well. When you're ready, one foot back, really curl the ball of your foot under so you have as much real estate on the mat as you can. Opposite foot steps back, and you're set up in your plank. If you're on your hands, you're looking just past your fingertips. If you're on your elbows, you're kind of looking at your fingertips. Just holding here Again, creating that tension like you're gonna pull the mat together with your armpits and your toes. Let's go for 3 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2. Reach your heels back, sending the crown of your head long towards the wall in front of you. And then on your next exhale, bring one knee down and then the other. Whew, quick child's pose. Planks should be hard every time you do them. You can always find something else to work a little harder on. Okay, come on down to one side. We're gonna do a little sideline work. Now, option here to be down on your bicep or up on your elbow. Okay, so pick one that feels good for you. Top hand is anchored down in front of your belly button. And then your legs are just slightly in front of you. So I have a little bit of a crease at my hip. From here, we're just gonna do a top leg lower and lift. Top leg lifts up, and you exhale as you lower it down. Inhaling as you lift, and exhaling as you lower. If you want to be fancy, you can do a point of your toe as you lift, and a flex of your heel as you lower. We've got 3 more. Trying to keep just a little bit of lift of that bottom side of your t-shirt up off the mat. This will be your last one. And now keep that leg lifted at hip height, toes are looking forward, and we're gonna kick the leg forward, and then reach it back and back. Inhaling forward, and exhaling back and back. Now, again, we're really thinking your upper body is anchored, right? It is staying relatively still, especially the space between your forearm and your ribs. So as my leg comes forward, I could fit a small cat in between my tunnel there. And then as the leg comes back, I'm not squishing the space, right? I'm keeping my tunnel as I go back. All right, that was plenty. Heels together, toes apart. So you have a little bit of what we call a Pilates V. And we're gonna do develope-hey. So you take your toes of your top leg and trace your inseam. Your knee is looking up towards the ceiling. Once you can't get any further, unfold your leg to kick the ceiling. And then sweep your straight leg down to bring your legs together. Again, it's trace, the knee looks up at the ceiling. Open and sweep your crocodile jaws together. Let's do 2 more in that direction. Open and sweep. Last one. And then we're gonna reverse that cycle. So now your straight leg lifts up, bend your knee to find your bottom knee, and push your inseams together. Lift to kick the ceiling. Bend your knee to find your bottom inseam, and then push your heels together. We've got 2 more. Nice and strong into that top hand. You're pushing it down from the back of your shoulder, as not so much from your collarbone. That was our last one. All right, take both legs so they're right underneath your hips. Bring your top foot forward, hold onto it with your hand. If this isn't a range you have in your hip, you can just put that knee down on the mat. And we're gonna do a little bit of inner thigh. Flex your bottom heel and lower and lift. Inhaling. Are you channeling your inner Jane Fonda yet? Hopefully. All right. Let's do 3 more like this. And then on the third one, you're gonna stay lifted and we're gonna draw a little circle. I'm going backwards first. But the emphasis is on the up, right? Push down into your top heel so you feel like both inner thighs are coming together right at the top of your inseams. And then reverse, opposite direction. Mine looks more like a kidney bean, I think, than an actual circle. That's okay. Last 2. And then lower that all the way down. Okay, we gotta do the other side. So flip on over to your other side. Same idea, options for your setup. You can be up on your elbow or down on your bicep. Legs are slightly in front of you to start. Top hand is anchored. Lower and lift of that top leg. Inhaling and exhaling. And just like with the bird dog, you're reaching out, right? So if I got a nice protractor that you would be drawing the same radius of a circle every time you lowered and lifted that leg. Let's do 2 more. And then on your next one, you're gonna lift up to hip height, toes are pointing forward, and we go forward, forward, back, back. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. If you want to play with the point and flex of your foot, go for it. If your balletic leanings are kicking in, you should really feel, again, you're ironing out that hip crease as you go back, creating the crinkles at your hip, and then ironing them out. Let's do 1 more. And then we've got développé. Heels together, toes apart. We're gonna trace with the toes first, kick the ceiling, sweep the legs together. And again, trace and lift and rainbow the legs down. 2 more in this direction. As you trace, your knee looks up at the ceiling, but your hip is still looking forward towards the wall in front of you. Now we reverse. Straight leg lifts up. Bend the knee to find your bottom inseam and straighten. Lift, bend, and push. Last 2. Again, you're showing me your inseam the whole time as you bend, so you're really spinning that hip open. All right, that was the last one. Inner thigh, both legs go right underneath your hips. Top leg comes forward, capture it with your top heel. Lower and lift to start. And you're lifting not just from your ankle bone, but from that very top of your inseam. Even though your hand is on your ankle, not the floor, you're still pulling that knee into you. So you have that strong shoulder connection, even though it's around the ankle. Okay, we've got circles, stay lifted. Circling, ooh, I went forward this time. You never know, don't worry, we're gonna do both directions. Again, can you circle from the very top of your inseam versus your heel? Last 2. And reverse. Here we go. Reach the bottom heel. Last 3, 2, and 1. All the way down. Okay, last exercise we're gonna do today is spine twist. Legs are gonna be straight out in front of you on the mat. Again, remember you can always sit up on something if this isn't for you. Hands go out to a T, legs are together this time. We're gonna twist without any bending. So exhale as you twist, and then try to twist just a little bit further, and then come back to center. Twist, and then twist a little bit further, and back to center. Keep rotating, anchoring your heels down into the mat. I have just a little bit of bend in my knees because it really makes me feel like I can ground down through my flexed feet. Last time. And come all the way to center. Take a nice forward fold over your legs. One more deep breath. Sigh that exhale out. And that is week 1 of Pilates. We'll be playing around with some similar movements using some different props. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys next week.